which whether the parliament can decide to quote unquote legalize that act, or in a way permissible that act, or whether can the judiciary, the body of the judiciary, can decide for the person. So
True,
it's like
true.
very eye-opening because I've not yet, I've yet to find anything like that dekat Malaysia, right? We've never heard of anything like that in Malaysia, particularly Malaysia lah. And it's a very like it's very eye-opening because we get to see an insight of what other country is living, how they do the system, the administrative system, also even the judicial system over there. Yeah, and I've never even like thought of it this way in terms of law and politics,
Yeah.
where both parliament and the judicial play a big role in legalizing a legislation. Like, yeah,
True, because the whole issue of running a country, it involves not only one agent. You have to have a group of us to run the country, right? So we
yeah,
have division of power, where the power is to be divided into segment, where nobody is going to control the power, right? Once you allow that power, then you see from the video what happened, right?
yeah,
People are attacking the court system and how the courts have to defend themselves,
yeah,
trying to justify. You know, if they were to keep quiet, and obviously, like nowadays, the keyboard warriors, right,
mm-hmm.
can easily downgrade the system that we have, because they, in fact, if you read their statement, uh, as if they are overnight law graduates. even,
Yeah, exactly.
even law graduates don't comment, right?
Yeah,
Betul tak? The rest,
yeah,
what do you think? Do you agree with my statement? The law apa? The keyboard warriors punya knowledge
Mostly,
of law. Kan,
yes,
Amira?
I agree with
Hmm.
you, sir.
Kita dulu dia perhati kan, dia orang dengan selamba je make their statements, and as if they have a PhD in law.
Exactly. Most of the keyboard warrior is not even a law student, so they
True.
just say what
And
they.
sorry, they say what they want, right? Especially
Yeah.
when they were like, okay lah, baru masuk law lah, some of them baru masuk law, they try to give their opinion, which is good. I'm not saying that it is not. You try to assert your ideas, yeah,
Mhm.
which is actually, as I said, is good. Tapi it must be factual lah, right?
Exactly.
So everyone finished the video, I guess, the 50 minutes, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Daniel,
Just
okay, good.
tak
Okay,
sempat baca just. So,
tak sempat, tak apa, it's okay. After this, you take a break after the class, and then we just go through the paper. The paper is
okay.
quite, it seems like it's technical in nature, but it just ignore what they call this, the references that the paper is trying to say. Where does it get from, and things like that. That confuses thing. Kalau dia buat the law school punya referencing, right, 1, 2, 3, then it makes things clear. So they are using APA. All right.
Okay.
Let's do this. Looking at the slide. All right. Introduction. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we're gonna embark our study into law and politics. I hope that I will be able to assist you in a way that your knowledge with respect to law and politics is enhanced, or you are able to perform the role that you are playing later on in the society, which you know, you are making change in a positive in a positive manner. So do you realize now, my question to start off, do you realize that we have a faculty that is studying politics in ITM? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good.
Yes, sir.
Faculty of Policy Studies, right?
Policy studies, Daniel. True. Amira pun, yes, true. So for those yang tak tahu, we do have a faculty that is we call FSPPP, ya, Pengajian Science and Politics, something like that. Back then, 15 years ago, we were once together. Do you realize that? FSPPP and Faculty of Law, we were once married, happily married.
Really?
Yes, we
So
were
you
once.
get to divorce, right?
Yeah, we have a cerai talak tiga.
Wow.
It happens when I I came in as a lecturer 15 years ago lah. You know, we were big then. Can you imagine? We have 70 lecturers with the law faculty and 150 of FSPPP. We are very big back then, but knowing that law and politics, we don't see eye to eye. Yeah. Because they say politics are more important than the law, we say that law is more important than politics. So eventually we say goodbye to each other. It's quite sad, but everyone's, if you look at all the nature of knowledge in the world, it started with one, and then what they call it, it branched out. Yeah, it branched out into many small area of knowledge. So even later on, law, we will be able to have sub branches into the law faculty, right? Say for example, in ITM accountancy, Asha Ayub, right? Ever heard of it, Asha Ayub?
Yes, sir. They serve a great food.
Yeah, okay. They are the branch out of the faculty of accountancy, if I'm not mistaken, right? So okay, that be a condition that we don't see eye to eye to the politics from the law. We don't see politics is that important, but actually in reality, law and politics, they are together. They are one. But since the people who study law and people who study politics want it to be different, so the mindset of the students when they go out, they see each other different. But we are actually the same. Yeah. For that, we have to understand why or how it is being what they call it is being done. Yeah, how it should be done. So that is why we are studying law and politics. So does them. They are studying law. We are studying politics. Yeah. So for doesn't mean that every one of them are studying law. So does like you guys, only like us, berapa orang kita? Roughly about 25 of us studying politics, right? Out of 100 or 200 or 300 students, yeah, for that semester. So remember in class, you can always stop me and ask questions, yeah? Anything, yeah? This is the, what do you call it? We need to understand. So if we look at the topic 1, introduction to law and politics, I already mentioned that there will be differences in terms of law and politics. It is considered as the fight between law and politics to dominate the environment. Okay, people who are from the legal perspective thinks that they are the one that is better for them to control the politics. because politics eventually, if you don't control it, they will become a tsunami, yeah, to override. We have differences in the society in the world that allows politics to control the law, and chaos happens, tyranny, yeah, and the whole, what they call it, society collapse. We can see what happened if there is no law in the society. Say for example, German, yeah, when they allow Hitler to control the law, yeah, so he came up with laws that say that they are the better, what they call it, people, yeah, the Aryan race, and therefore everyone else is substandard. They think that they are suffering, obviously back then, from the loss of the war, World War I. So they are pressured because the agreement that they signed in uh, belittle them, yeah, belittle them, because losers are always lose in the perspective of their administration of the country, yeah. So what happened was, they think that their race is much better than others, and the arrogance comes in. Then they need that economic development, so they look at their neighbors that is weaker, and they took control, and from them they use this politics in order to control the society mind, yeah? So the mind of the society is being controlled by the people who are in power by virtue of politics. This so-called Aryan race, so-called the swastika, you know, the all these concept that they put forward is because they want to control the society. So in this topic that we are going to look at, we are going to look at four main elements: political history, philosophy, terminology, and methodology. The methods of how this particular paper, or the politics of law and politics is being run. Yeah. So okay, let's move to the question of why study law and politics. Yeah. This is important for us to determine why. Yeah, because before we do something, normally I ask my students to have a question of why. You are not to be brainwashed into receiving knowledge without you being able to identify why that you have to do it. This why is normally you don't tak pakai sangat, because when you were young, the question of why is the one thing that you would use, yeah, and ask your parents, your anyone that is close to you, why. So in continuation of that, when it comes to law, the law students, yeah, especially, you must be able to ask about why, because once we don't ask why, then we lose it. Yeah, there is no point for us to say that we are legal thinkers when we are not asking questions. And the most important question of the four wife and one husband, right? What, when, where, why, and how is the question of why. So, as the why we study law and politics, number one, because as a citizens, you are going to be exposed. Yeah, you guys are going to be exposed to the reality of life, where law and politics, is, as I mentioned, it is one. It is being divided into two area of subject because you are studying law. If you are studying 100 years before, law and politics, they are one. Okay, if you look at Aristotle, Plato, yeah, their thinking element, their philosophy, it is based on one subject, yeah, which is the truth. Yeah, you need to understand what is real, what is not. So you're going to be in the society that is full of element of law and politics. You have to know how to differentiate that. Second is that you might be also be interested in politics, yeah. And if you are involved in politics, you need to be able to maneuver yourself within the political platform that you choose, yeah. Be it in a individual manner, meaning, you know, as I mentioned the other day, politics is about you asserting your ideas towards others, yeah. So that is politics. You want to be able to control somebody else, yeah. Say for example, you tengok kawan you pakai baju certain type of dress, you say, I don't think it is nice for you to wear that kind of dress, or that kind of shoes, that kind of tudung and things like that. You are trying to assert your political thinking, your idea, yeah. And by virtue of convincing that person that it's not nice or better for that particular person to do something else. Yeah, that is a miniature element of politics. But when it comes to a bigger set of politics, that is where you are going to be involved with the organization or platform, yeah, whether it is local or national or international platform. You must be able to maneuver yourself and know what is politics, yeah. Even though you are a law student. Next, number three is that as legal professional, you don't want to be influenced by politics, because as a legal thinkers or legal professionals, yeah, you should be not be involved with the influence that politics plays upon other people. Have you heard that the phrase of politics itu kotor? Biasa dengar? You can
Yep.
put
Yeah.
Yeah,
chat,
Yes.
just uh,
politik itu kotor, right?
Mhm.
It is not kotor, but the players that is inside the politics are the one that is, doing dirty things. Yeah, you know what happened. That is currently in Malaysia. You know, from the time of Najib, and then Mahathir, and then Muhyiddin, and now the possibility of Anwar. You know, how politics is being able to influence the running of the country. Yeah, because can you imagine politics of the people of who say that they are into politics? You know, they use politics in order to control the country. It does impact us in a direct or indirect manner. So, as judges later on, you might end up yourself as being a judge, especially rather than lawyers. You are going to be influenced by politics, yeah, because your role as the separation of power that entails you to do your job. You know, you are independent in terms of the power that is holding that you are holding. So you must be able to not be influenced by politics. Okay, and the fourth one, as seeker of truth, yeah, you do not want politics to dominate the environment. So as a person in the society, you should be able to, because you know the law, yeah, you know what is real, what is not, because you are taught how to think. So therefore you are able to use that mindset in order for you to change the environment that you are in, be it in your family, in your society, in terms of your working place. You know, just set things right. If you have learned to differentiate what is right, what is wrong, you should be able to uh, influence others, yeah, influence others, not to have a bad influence, but just to set the track correct, yeah, the correct track or the facts. So that is why I think some of the reasons why you have to study law and politics. So you can stop me and comment or write something in the chat if you want to comment, yeah. So what do you think? Is it something that logic that we are learning law and politics?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Actually, yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
So it makes sense, yeah. It makes sense because while doing this, what they call it, slides, I was thinking what needs to be put forward to them in order for them to realize why they have to study this. For those who do not want to register for this class, it seems that other options are not available. So I want you to make worth of your time that you spend in this class. Yeah. Okay, that is one. Mm,
But
next
sir,
question.
I have
Yeah.
an opinion.
Mhm.
Don't you think it's unfair that the parliaments or the MPs have more power than the judiciary? It seems like that, even though it's supposed to be um rules over, wait, what's the
Separation of power.
yeah, the separation of power, but still, like, it seems as though they have more power, the parliament have more power than the judiciary.
Okay, what is the answer for that? Anyone knows why
Um,
Parliament is more powerful as
I,
compared to
I think
the court?
because
Yeah.
they have
I think that's the perception of it. You know, you perceive that the parliament is over everything else, but theoretically they three are the same actually. But you
yeah,
Okay.
perceive
it's
that.
like it's
Some.
it's it's a clear demarcation where there is a separation of power, but I think also the fact that the media has shown that the parliament has more powers than the judiciary, which,
Mhm.
as a law student myself, at first I do think that the parliament has more powers because they seem like, even like, the mask problem yang dorang tak pakai mask and all of that, dorang tak kena saman pun.
I was
Betul tak?
just reading just now from
Yeah,
WhatsApp. Minister of religion. I think one of the minister of religion. I don't pay attention actually. He came back and then he did not quarantine himself. And we see cases where people are being jailed, sentenced, or fined.
Minister
How come
Takiri, sir.
Takiri? Yeah.
Yeah. Many
that's
people tak
why.
perhatikan him.
See, there's no separation of power then. Like,
The
why do they
concept is
have that?
there.
Yeah,
I
the
think
concept is there, but
dia,
like,
dia tak ada kaitan pun dengan separation of power, tapi
yeah,
dia membuktikan double
but
standard politician tu lah. Dia tak ada pula
The,
nak sentuh separation of power sebenarnya.
yeah,
Separation of power
but
is
like,
there. But
the
but like
we are
the
separation of
talking
power
about the
concept.
politician right now.
yeah, the fact that dorang tak ada kena saman ke, dorang, it seems like the law has no power over them. It seems like that, yeah.
Immunity you're talking about. Separation of
Yeah,
power
they
actually.
have the privilege of parliament, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, parliamentary privilege in
Yeah.
a way lah
They
macam
don't
tu.
know how to limit their privileges, right?
That's not the question of privileges of parliamentarians, but the privileges of politician, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than privileges of the
As what Cynthia is trying to say, Cynthia, right?
Yeah.
Saying that you guys look at their position because they seems to have that immunity because they are a member of parliament. Now, I have to agree with Cynthia because parliament have more stature with respect to power as compared to the legislative, the judiciary. Why? Even though we do have that separation of power, but the fact is, the legislature, they are more powerful from compared to the other organs. In a way, because they have the power to, what do you call it, create laws. They are lawmakers instead, as compared to lawgivers.
So I
Lawmakers. Yeah,
have
sorry.
one point, sir. I've read this somewhere lah kan.
Mhm.
Dalam artikel tu dia cakap the asal usul parliamentary system ni adalah the separation of power is not clearly stated, it's not clearly mentioned, it's not clearly laid out because the MPs, dia sebenarnya dia nak macam the institution of parliament is a supreme institution over the others. In fact, before 2015, in the UK, even the judiciary member is a part of parliament, the law lords in the House of Lords, the legislature and the government. So that's why we perceive parliament is, you know, some kind of a bigger institution, because the foundation of the Westminster Parliament democracy is that, kan, dia memang bagi nampak yang parliament ni sebagai the biggest institution, because just like what Prof Shad say lah, the grand inquest of the nation. So that's why we perceive the parliament and its member as, you know, some kind of a superior member of the society.
Okay. Let us compare between judges and MPs. Their position is, my statement is that the MPs are more powerful than judges. Why?
Because they're lawmakers
Yeah, because
and the judges interpret that.
okay, why they are lawmakers? As lawmakers and law givers, you know, between government and the judiciary, right? So, what is the main differences that you can identify?
Because they are the representative of the people. People choose them.
Very good. So we have that differences, yeah. So one is appointed, one is elected. So if you compare elected and appointed, the two words carries very big difference. Yeah, Intan, thank you for the input. Because member of parliament, they are elected by the society. Yeah, because we consensusly we we group up together every 5 years to appoint them, yeah, to be our representative. If they are there in the parliament, one person represent maybe 100,000, you know. So they represent the words or the thinking of the member of their society that they represent. As compared to judges, they are appointed, you know, they are appointed irrespective whether from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, you say that Yang di-Pertuan Agong appointed them, but they are from the Prime Minister's choice, you know, after going through all the special branch or checking whether they have some negative background and things like that. So they are physically appointed people. Appointed people is being appointed by one or a few. But as compared to member of parliament, they are elected. So concept of democracy that, yeah, where people are able to determine their own representative. So that makes a big difference as compared to legislative. Don't you agree?
Yes,
True,
I
sir.
agree.
Okay, now why study law? Politics is important. Why is it important? Okay, because number one, as you can see, is to pass this paper. Yeah, without you studying, I have a class, a student last semester when I taught them Juris 2. Yeah, Juris 2. This particular person, the candidate, the student, that person got 45 carry mark. Yeah, so she needs only 5 marks to pass the paper. But when you have the finals, right, the 40%, it turns out that I cannot give her the 5 marks that she needs. She failed.
She failed.
She failed because her marks like 3/40.
3/40.
Yeah,
Ah,
and
That means that the paper is the mark, the one with the lowest one.
then Amira?
I mean, the paper. Is it
Uh-huh.
the around below 10 for her paper? The marks.
The marks. Yeah. What you are trying to say is that is it the marks? Yes. The marks is 3/40. She failed. So it is important for you to learn something and be able to understand at least, you know, in this mode of MCO, we have ODL, right? Online distant learning. The nature is that somebody can come in and go out, you know, not listening in, doing something else, you know, not paying attention. As I mentioned, the first class, I don't mind you doing that. I cannot control you. It's just that when you do that, the effect is going to be upon yourself. You know, I give an A to my student. I don't mind giving an A. If you deserve to, I will give, even A plus. But if you deserve to fail, then you have to fail, right? So it's not fair because other people put effort into answering, and then suddenly you don't have anything to do or knowledge that you can contribute, and then suddenly you demand that you pass the paper. That is not fair, right? We talk about fairness and justice, right? So equality, then the efforts that you put in is the outcome that you get. Okay, so I'm sure that all of you are going to pass the paper, no problem. But be careful, yeah, be careful, because the final is going to be your individual work as compared to the group that we have formed, yeah, the 5 group that we formed. And then the second one is the need for you to be aware what is going on in the society, obviously, yeah. So even though you are not a player in the society in terms of the politics, you need to know what is going on in order for you to not to be hijacked by people's politics, yeah. So people's politics is something that they have on their own, yeah. They have the mindset of their own. They can easily influence others, but you are not easily influenced. You know what is right, what is wrong, and you, because you have studied, yeah. And the third one, you don't want to be manipulated by anyone, yeah. The role of a law student is not to be manipulated either by your colleagues, by the law, by the in the society, you know, even from your lecturers. Yeah, we are not here to manipulate your mind into thinking something. Yeah, we can present you something. It is for you to evaluate the statement that we made, whether it is logical or not, whether you can rationalize or not, and you analyze it, then only you can make your decision. Because if you look at the people of the politics, yeah, if you look at politicians, yeah, most of them have leaders of the world is actually legal based. Yeah, if you Google search leaders of the countries that have legal background, I think about 60 to 70% of them do have some legal background. They might be laws, they used to be legal thinkers and legal people, yeah, lawyers, you know. So if you look around and you Google, you will see, you'll be surprised of those people that controlling the society are basically legal thinkers. So what do you think? Can you name some of them?
Siapa je yang belajar ni?
Apa Amira?
Malaysian politician ada background.
Side.
Gobind Singh ada?
Gobind
Side.
Singh,
Hanayo.
Ya,
Hanayo, sir. Why
Hanaya.
Hanayo?
Okay, lagi?
It used to be a
Leaders
law.
of the world.
Oh, leaders of the world.
The local, okay, it's okay.
I think French president ada legal background. Macron.
Okay, Macron.
Leader.
Lagi?
I'm not quite sure.
Canada? History? Matma is one of them. Marcos, Philippines. Malaysia
Former
siapa?
UK president.
Malaysia siapa? Yang ada legal background.
Tunku?
Tengku Abdul Rahman,
Tunku Abdul Rahman.
Razak. Semua. Except Salim Aziz Najib.
Mahathir.
You see, it is very important for you to realize that people who learn law or law background, they are the one that is apt for the country to put as leaders. And I'm not surprised one of you eventually in the future might end up being MPs or maybe the Prime Minister of Malaysia.
YB, sir, YB.
IP, okay.
Yeah, YB.
That you have to have that legal, because many of them are not educated. If you look at the background of the MPs, they are there previously, like 10 years ago, nobody have nobody have a paper qualification. Actually, they are from SPM. Not to belittle people who doesn't have paper education, but it is something that is important, because when you learn, your mindset is going to change. And when your mindset is changed, you are able to do things better as compared to those people who doesn't learn. Especially if you are a professional, and especially when you are a law professional. Yeah. So it is very important for you not to be manipulated by anyone. You don't want to be in control in a world that is already out of control, right? So if you are not able to have your grounds, strong grounds, you will be swept away by the political tsunami that is, that is happening every now and then. Okay, that is why if you look at those people yang apa kita, that word, yang terlampau terlampau bukan fatwa, terlampau over sangat dengan political parties ni.
Terlalu ekstrim macam ekstremis.
Heretic.
Apa dia, fanatic, yes, that's the word that I'm looking for. They actually, kalau you tengok, there are histories or stories that the family is being divided, and it end up with divorce. Yang husband party A, wife party B, they squabble, and the politician are happy, going back to their house, and they have income. But when it comes to families, in the rural areas, they are so fanatic, they turn out in a negative way. So be careful. So we don't want, you can see an incident of that. It also can be an incident that if you hold on to that political stand so much that you believe in it, the chances of it to destroy your life is there. So let us not do that, and try to find justice. And if you want to have your justice for yourself, it's not fair. You should be able to share the justice with others. If the politicians are doing something that is negative, you should be the one that is telling others, no, don't listen. This is the correct way, and you show them the correct way. InsyaAllah, Okay. You kena buat the best, because I nak pahala daripada you. Whenever you are doing good, yes.
Is it possible for us to be neutral?
Yes,
Like-
you are supposed to be neutral.
But then we have to vote. So like we want to be neutral. Like I don't want to trust any of the politician. What if I don't want to trust? So like is it okay if I be neutral?
Yeah. What Proshad said when I used to be his student, the system, the democratic system that we are applying is the best of the worst. It's the best of the worst. So we cannot run away from the situation that that situation. It is something that there is no other way that we can go about. I don't know, Cynthia, what do you think?
Yeah, there's no other way. But like still I don't actually like the idea of people being fanatic over the parties and over the, that's why I want to be neutral. But then there are people like macam, why don't you want to vote this party, ni party dia janji ni janji tu. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, yeah, that's why I say I want to be neutral, but people's ideology of that makes me, vote.
You don't get yourself involved in politics. Don't let them use their politics towards you. So they will use their thinking and try to utilize their thinking to, in a way, in a medium of politics towards you, to choose certain certain group or certain candidate. If you have an election, then you can go to these members, the candidates events, and then you see what do they say. uh, Obviously you have to make a stand, because you need to vote, right? Your vote counts, but you don't let other people to influence you, be it your friends, your family members, the society, the community, or the candidate, the words that the candidate is saying. So we can always generalize saying that all politicians are bad people. I don't want to vote. My wife did not vote all her life. She did vote the other day to topple Najib down. Because we make a stand that whatever it is, if you need to go back to our kampong, we will do that. For people who are from Kelantan, they are very what do you call it, aware of their rights. And you see during election, they will have they will go back to their hometown, and they choose to take a break, holiday, ask for leave for them to go back and ensure that their vote counts. So, but don't justice is not allowing anyone to display your thinking. Any comment?
Sir, I have one other question, sir.
Yes, good.
Sir, katakanlah kita belajar law and politics, we cannot be manipulated, we are in control of ourselves, we learn new things kan.
Yeah.
But in the end, we, especially the students lah kan, we cannot voice out our opinion further because as we all know, there are so many laws that preventing students, especially university students, from voicing out our opinion whatsoever.
True.
So
Yeah.
what's the point actually?
What's the point? Yes, exactly.
Okay. What's the point?
Especially in UiTM and other university, we cannot even berkumpul melebihi 2 orang. Then what's the point of learning? Being manipulasi semua.
You see, you are being politicized by the organization, because they don't want you to that you compare us and the Western people. The way that their thinking is totally different. You will always be amazed of how they think and how they are able to fluently talk. You don't need to know anything else, but the nature of how they talk when you see them, it is not like us. It is not because they know English, and English is much higher vocabulary than Bahasa Melayu, but the mindset that we have is something that is negative in nature. Especially when it comes to you, when you work later on, you start to realize from other universities, private universities, those students are more talkative, more able to express themselves because they are what they call it. They are what they call it. They are promoted. The promotion of being able to say what they think and what they want is something that is being welcomed as compared to we in the university. I cannot make statements, which is like now we are doing law and politics, right? Statements that I can make or might end up with my career being down the drain. There's so much pressure that is controlling us. And say for example I don't agree with the mazhab, that we have in our society. We have mazhab, in Islam, we have so many mazhab, right? If I were to make a statement saying that I disagree with all mazhab, if I were to be in power, I will eliminate all mazhab, right? Uh, uh, Chances are people are going to take action against me just because I make that statement. Because my argument is that in Islam there is no division. There is only one religion. There is no division in terms of ideology, in terms of groups. Islam is only one. So it doesn't go for Christianity. Christianity, we have many sects, yeah, many sects and areas of division that within the Christianity. So does the Jews, yeah. So actually, they are only one. What I'm trying to say here is that we are bound by some rules, and obviously things will change, and hopefully it will. But for the time being, just I think, student participation in politics within university is allowed, right? Huh? Yeah, allowed. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think yes, sir, because like I think we've read a case or like a paper during our
Mhm.
constitutional law
Mhm.
one, and any kind of formation or association more than two people is not allowed, and that's due to the fact that it's legislated in our university, our organization. So
I
like it's
can't sorry, I can't remember the case, but I heard from my wife when she was lecturing her class. Um, there is a case in University Malaya. She
yeah,
and
there's a case but it's not
yeah,
particularly UITM, just that it's like
siapa?
like
Apa dia? Hold on.
centralized.
My wife wants to say something. Student UM. Tak, tak. Okay. Right. Okay.
Hi guys. So
Hi, hi,
Hi.
Sam.
Perspective.
okay, so after a few years ago, some of the students joined this, that point of time and they want to bring down Najib, so they went for street rally. So the name of the street rally is UN. And then a few UN students joined. And then because of that, we found out because the protest of them went viral. So UN had disciplinary and then decided to dismiss all the students. So this student went to the challenge because now the recent amendment to AUKUS said that students of universities are allowed to hold political party. So the part to deal with the students as UN to reinstate that the students. That means to take back the students, okay, and conflict that the action of UN to dismiss them against the AUKUS. So
All right. So it is ultra virus of the provision of the law. Remember, people who are the administrators or anyone cannot say anything that is not provided by the law. Okay. So in this situation, the management of University Malaya had done what we call overboard, yeah, with the powers that was given to them by the statute. Yeah? So okay, that is one example that you can actually, I think, you have to approach the dean. Is say, for example, we do have a corner that you can, make speech if you want to. Yeah, but it is rarely being utilized. Do you realize that?
Probably because of the fact that we tak berani kot nak pergi
Uh,
depan. This
I
is
think
why we study this.
what you can do is, with the support of the faculty, you can approach the dean and try to promote that idea and see how she is able to help you out, in practicing the legal thinking that we have. There are so many areas that we can be involved in, and that can be also something that we can share with the society in terms of the place that we are in. So for example, in our fact, we can actually invite people for the talk, and give the talk, and you must have your grounds, yeah, of why you are saying such things. Okay. I think that is one thing that you can explore. Obviously, don't let it be a hindrance, yeah, for you to be able to explore new things. Uh, yeah, as the man that you can see the picture of that man is thinking, and you have to voice out, yeah, and you don't have to what do you call it, on the attacking mode, eh? You don't have that mode, so you can sit down and be civilized about it. So you can do it. It's just not a matter of letting other people to say, tak boleh, tak boleh, tak boleh, tak boleh. Make it be real, where you have to do it in a proper channel, and you have your student representative nowadays. They should be able to help you out in doing small things, yeah. And then later on, if once the society have changed their mindset in what society we are talking about, the faculty society, or the ITM society, they are able to accept that kind of method, then over a period of maybe 10-15 years, we will see things that can be done without much hindrance, inshallah. So it's just a matter of you starting it. If you feel that it is in a way that is negatively limiting your mind, so do something about it, yeah. So I'm happy as what I am, so just let it be, as long as I'm not being swayed with that political ideology. Okay, nobody is now, because this thing is when I only undergo my PhD, then I start to analyze things. All this while I just accept, you know. It was late. I started my PhD when I'm 48, and so sad. Yeah, but you guys are young. You should be able to put things, in perspective, insyaAllah. Boleh? Okay, I think kita pun baru berapa slide ni, ya. That's good, that's good. What is law? Yeah, in order for us to understand what is law in politics, we have to understand what is law. Law, by definition, in simplistic nature, is a system of rule created and enforced. Yeah, created. You can see in Malaysian situation, we have the parliament who create the law, and enforce through the government, and the application of judiciary through social and governmental institution. Yeah, social and governmental institution. Social means any social organization or institution that we have, that is something that they are doing with the law that they are being provided. Say for example, we have societies, yeah, we have groups of societies. So for example, apa ya, contoh, if you like motorbikes, yeah, you might want to be in a society that love motorbikes, then that society must have rules and regulations, yeah. Rules, either it is legally made or just rule of the society itself, but nevertheless it must be something that must be in that manner, where you have rules and regulation that regulates society, uh, social in terms of the groups, and we have the governmental institution to regulate the behavior. So if you are in that particular group for the motorbike group, so you have rules, yeah? Especially when you join Facebook, there is a disclaimer saying that you are not to post certain offensive, materials or statement. So the same thing that is considered as rules. Yeah. As far as government, obviously it's more powerful. You need more laws to regulate the conduct of the regulation of behavior of society. Now, you do have the long-standing debate when it comes to what is law. You will learn what is law in, I think you have learned law and philosophy back then during your asasi. You will learn also when it comes to jurisprudence 1 and 2 in terms of understanding what is law. What is politics? Yeah, politics is the method whereby here the Greek word of affairs of the cities. Yeah, what do you mean by affairs of the cities? Because back then the Roman Empire, if you can see that my capture. What do you call it? The picture there, 4.4 million kilometers. That is the empire of the Roman Empire, and that how large it is. Can you imagine how do you control the empire? Is make by making sure that you are uh, having enough power. How do you have enough power? By virtue of giving politics, yeah, meaning affairs of the cities are being regulated in a manner. Not only law, but the politics are the one that is able to control the mindset. Now, law can only control the outcome of a problem. Yeah, how to regulate tax, how to resolve issues of dispute between two parties. But politics goes bigger than that. Yeah, it is a method of influencing the whole society. In this case, the whole people in the empire, in terms of language, in terms of thinking, in terms of religion. You know, you have this empire, the Roman emperor who converted into Christian, and then the whole empire is being influenced by the affairs or the thinking of that emperor. Okay, Christianity was legitimate. What do you call it? Being legitimate in terms of the official religion of the Roman Empire. So that if you look at our situation in Malaysia, when the Sultan Melaka converted to Islam, the whole empire become Muslim. Yeah, so that is politics. Yeah, so here and that set of activities that are associated with making decision in groups, whether you are in groups or not, or with other forms of power relation. Yeah, power relation meaning who do you want to be in control, who do you want to control. Yeah, between either individuals, such as distribution of resources and status. Yeah, so you want somebody to be in power, you put them in to power. Politics. Um, have you learned company law?
Not yet,
Not
sir.
yet. Okay. When it comes to company law, normally directors are appointed. Yeah? We have executive directors that is appointed by a company who they are actually from the industry or from the society. Normally we take in executive director that are knowledgeable in the area of work or business that we are doing, but not normally it's like that. Some companies that they are able to secure appointment, they normally appoint people who have political stance, yeah, uh, in terms of to support their activities that they are doing, the business activities that they are doing. Yeah? We heard about Anak Mahathir, Mukris, or other sons, or I don't know, daughters, people who are sons and daughters of politicians, they are appointed as directors of companies. Why it is like that? It is just purely politics, because by utilizing status of a company where you have directors that is politically based, then you should be able to, when you meet people, if you are the CEO of that company, if you go and see people, you bring in the what do you call it, the background of the company, yeah, M&A, we call it Memorandum of Article of Association. Then you can show off in saying that, wow, the director of the company is actually anak somebody. That is a form of power relation for if you are in the particular business, yeah. So for example, you are producing product A, yeah. Say for example, the one that I can think of, cars, yeah. If you have a car manufacturing company, you want the politician to be able to support you, and in order for them to support you, put them into the directorship, so that actually can influence others. Yeah. So the academic status of politics is referred to as political science. Yeah. If you look at FSPPP, the nature of the name of the faculty is political science. They study in terms of science, yeah, but it's actually an art. So we are not categorized as science faculties. We are arts faculties. Yeah, where why it is art faculty? Because our decision is not only one. Kalau science is always, the answer is going to be objective. Yeah, the answer is going to be like that. Objective is 1 + 1 = 2. It cannot be other than 2. So that is science. But when it comes to art, 1 + 1 = anything. That is where we are subjective in terms of how we interpret things. Yeah. So just to share with you, that is the what they call it, what is politics. I think time is up, but can we proceed with some other statements before we end it? Just 3 slides. In view of this political scientist Harold Laswell, he said that politics is who gets what, when, and how. Very simple, very direct, which is actually the truth. Yeah, I think that is the what do you call it, synopsis of or the gist of what is politics. And we have another political scientist here, David Easton, who said that the authoritative allocation of values for a society. The values of the society is depending on who is in control of the political ideology that we have in that society. Then obviously, if you are the authority, then obviously you are able to influence the society in their mindset that you want them to have. Yeah, the values that you have. So values can be subjective in nature. So we have another person, Lenin. You know who is Lenin, right? The first political leader of Russia. So he said that politics is the most concentrated expression of economics. Yeah, because Karl Marx, the argument of him is that everything is corrupted. The one that you need to ensure is the equality in terms of economics, distribution of wealth. So Lenin is the one that borrows Marx's idea and launch it into building a government, which is the Soviet Union, Russia. So he was the one that said that politics is actually economics. Yeah. So once you are able to identify economics, the unfairness that is happening in our economy, then you should be able to change the whole thing. So you use politics in order for you to change the economy of the society. Next,
Sir,
yes, sir.
I'm really sorry, but I actually have another class.
Oh, you have another class. Okay. With that, we end the session. It's not fair for even one person that is unable to attend. So I will try to record and pass it over to you, and then see you at 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock, right?
Kedua, sir.
Yes.
Okay, tutorial, and we will look at the just read while you are eating the the paper, and we will shortly do a short discussion on the paper. So with that, so thank you for coming to class. Have you registered UFuture for your attendance?
Yes,
If,
sir.
Yes, sir.
okay, good. Just nak tengok macam mana. So thank you. Have a nice
Thank you,
day.
sir.
See you at 2.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Just I rasa we need to have apa quorum lah, because kesian kan dia orang.